So what else is right about the country? Well, what's right is fiscal sanity, pay as you go, and reducing our debt. What's right is a modern transportation system that works for this century and not the last one, where 8-lane bridges don't fall down like the one 6 blocks from my house in the middle of a summer day in the middle of America. It's time to have a 21st century transportation system for a 21st century economy. What's right is encouraging small businesses, and President Obama's plan to double exports in the next 5 years and a focus on an economy that creates new jobs, and you should thank Governor Culver for all the work he's doing. And what's right, thanks to Tom Harkin's work, is providing affordable health care to every person in this country. Now let's talk about how we deal with the other side, what's wrong in Washington. Like me, your leaders in Iowa have always believed in bipartisanship. They know that we can have some good ideas from both sides of the aisle. But right now, I'm not hearing a lot of ideas from the other side. What they seem to be doing too much is selling fear. Here's what Harry Truman said once about the do-nothing crowd in his day. He said, America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, on imagination, and an unbeatable determination to do the job at hand. So today we tell the naysayers, we're not afraid. And when they try to scare the American people, we're going to tell them what's wrong, and we're going to do what's right. Here's what I'm talking about. When they told our seniors, you remember this going on in August in Iowa, right? When they told our seniors to fear health care reform, we passed a bill that finally fills the donut hole for prescription drug benefits under Medicare Part D for our seniors because it was the right thing to do. When 7 Republicans flip-flopped and blocked a bill to create a commission to reduce our debt, we didn't despair. We called them out, and President Obama created his own bipartisan debt commission. And now that the Republicans have used the filibuster more times since President Obama has been in office, think about this, they've used it more times since he's been in office than the decades of the 60s and 70s combined, we're going to do what has been needed for a long time. From now on, when they do it, we're going to call them out. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. I call it the roll out the cot strategy. Every time we tell them we're going to work through the night and roll out the cots, they go, okay, that's what we have to do, and that's calling them out every step of the way. How does it work? Well, when Senator Jim Bunning blocked our jobs bill, remember this, not just giving the finger to the media, but to every unemployed worker in America, what did we do? We called him out and we passed that jobs bill. When they tried to block the vote on Wall Street reform, we made them vote over and over and over again until they buckled, and we passed that bill. And when they start making apologies for BP, like some have been doing on TV lately, when tar balls are washing up on our shores instead of beach balls, we're calling them out, and we will make BP pay for this mess. Now, in all the fury and all the debates in the 24/7 TV cable, there's something you can never forget, and this is what's got to keep you through this election. And I know it's something Roxanne thinks about every single day when she goes to work for Iowa to win this election. And you always got to remember what we're fighting for. We're fighting for the dad who lost his job at the Maytag in Newton, wondering whether he'll be able to pay his mortgage. We're fighting for the student at Iowa State who's struggling to pay his tuition. And we're fighting for a woman named Mickey from northern Minnesota. This was a letter I got a few months back from Mickey's mom, and she said this. She said, I just got off the phone with my daughter, Mickey. At first, I couldn't understand her because she was sobbing so hard. Her husband had just been told by his boss that their small company wouldn't be carrying health insurance on their employees any longer. For her, this is a matter of life and death. She has cystic fibrosis. Because it is a pre-existing condition, the insurance companies won't touch her. Mickey is a fighter. She has fought her whole life but she can't keep fighting a system that is so against her. And then Mickey's mom ended with this. She said, "You need to stand and be my voice, be Mickey's voice." Well, every one of us in this hall today needs to be Mickey's voice. Why? Because you know what's been going on. They've been trying to scare us. They've been trying to scare Mickey. They've been trying to scare her mom. And when that happens, you've got to look for courage. I know Tom Harkin has done it every day in his career. I don't know, he probably thinks of those kids sitting in wheelchairs that need a fair shake. Roxanne's done it. She thinks of all those people she helped and who she represents. For me, I always think about my grandpa. He worked 1,500 feet underground in the mines in Ely, Minnesota. He never graduated from high school, saved money in a coffee can to send my dad to college. Well, a few years ago at a restaurant in Ely called Vertine's Cafe, I ran into a guy, and he said that his dad used to work with my grandpa. And he said, "My dad told me that your grandpa Mike was a leader. He was never afraid. When your grandpa guided his crew into a new part of the mine, he didn't stand above and radio down like the other crew leaders did. He always went with the guys, and he always went first." There were tears in this man's eyes when he said that my grandpa was never afraid to lead the way. He said my grandpa Mike was fearless because he knew that it was the right thing to do. Well, all of you, you're Iowans. You've always known the right thing to do. For generations, you've never backed down from a challenge. You've given the country leaders of courage. Now it's up to you once again in a very difficult time, but I know you're up for the challenge. It's up to you to shine a light in the dark of that mine. It's up to you to get health care for Mickey and to make sure you go out there and work so you elect people who are going to get jobs for those workers and are going to get decent education for our kids. Remember, through the whole next months, we have no fear, because we're doing the right thing. And just like my grandpa Mike would do every day, it's time to put on our hard hats, and we're going to need them, right? It's time to pull on our boots and square our shoulders and get to work. You all know how to do this. You don't need someone from Minnesota telling you what to do, right? You all know how to knock on those doors. You know how to go in those parades, how to make the calls. Your candidates need you, Iowa needs you, and America needs you, so let's get to work. Thank you very much.